Alright folks, well I'm sure you're probably wondering why I brought you here today. Not sure what that was, but and why we're sitting in a messy garage. Well, today folks, I am getting everything ready for mine and my buddy's first ice fishing adventure. Tomorrow morning at 4, we're driving about 4 hours-ish north in Wisconsin to do some early ice. I mean, it shouldn't be early ice right now, but the last couple of years it's been kind of crap for good ice. But I was doing some things with my tip ups, going through making sure they weren't tangled, making sure hooks were still good on them, line was still good on them. I stopped at Walmart today and got my personal favorite tip up line. I mean, this might not be yours, but I actually really like this stuff. It's thin, so in those lakes that are murky, I know it's got that green tint to it or whatever, but in lakes that are dingy, we do very well with this stuff for walleyes without a leader on it. I mean, we'll put a leader on it if the water's clear, but this stuff normally works pretty solid. And this is 40 pound, but 10 pound diameter. So I decided to grab the camera, grab the new GoPro, brand new GoPro, and shoot a little how-to video. So don't mind the garage. But I'm going to show you guys today how to set up a tip-up. I mean, whether it's on the ice or just in your garage, just kind of how to set it up before you get out there and freeze or it's warm out, so I don't even need gloves or anything. But on the ice in the AM, if you don't set everything up, it can be a pain because then you got to take your gloves off. It's tedious. You got to put your line on there, set it all up to get it down the hole, and nobody wants to have numb fingers and do that. So I'm going to show you how to do this in the garage here. So I'm going to switch over to the GoPro and kind of explain on there while I'm recording what I'm doing and how I'm going to tie the line onto the spool, how I'm going to spin it on, which, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but some of the folks that are just getting into ice fishing don't know, and it's not simple for them. Because I know growing up hunting and fishing, there's certain things that I got into that my dad didn't do, like turkey hunting, or I got into bow hunting by myself and I didn't know, and I learned from people on YouTube that were professionals. They'd just been doing it. I watched them and I learned. So maybe this will help somebody out. Hopefully it does. Maybe it'll help a couple of my buddies out, because I've seen some of your setups. You guys know who you are. But I'm gonna turn this camera off. I'm gonna switch over to this, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. Appreciate you guys checking this video out. Thank you. Alright folks, well, this is the setup. This is just some old 50-pound braid. Here's your tip up, just a regular old Frable. Love these, but yeah, just your run-of-the-mill Frable. And some people probably would want to cut them off. I mean, I already had this one set up, so I'm actually going to keep the treble hook and just keep this because it's in decent shape, just because I could just throw it on right away without going through my gear. Don't mind any of that. I have a broken tip up and some odds and ends stuff, but I'm gonna keep this. It's always nice to have a sharp knife, so I'm just gonna cut this off of here for now. I'll show you guys how to tie on a treble too. It might not be the best way, but it works best for me. So I'll just throw these up here. Top of the old 86 snow machine. Oh, that drop there, I'll remember that. But instead of spooling this all off and sitting there and pulling hand over hand, this is what we're gonna do once we get this untangled here. Just gonna take a knife. Some people are probably cringing at this right now, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna run the knife through there. Alright folks, well, I'm back with a razor blade here. This will be a lot easier. I just take that through. Oh yeah, that's 10 10 times better. Just go all the way through all your layers. Sorry, this angle of this camera is kind of... Alright folks, well, so you kind of watched that. I should probably wear my head mount, but I'm not wearing my chest mount for this bad boy here. But so this is clean now, and we're going to show you how to tie the knot onto this to spool your line on. Alright folks, I'm back. I just went and took the jacket off, so you guys have the spindle clean now. And the name of the game is to first you probably want to have your line open. A lot of times I leave, don't ruin the box too bad, because I actually will keep it in there once I get this rubber band off. Not all spools have the rubber band, but this one in particular does. So what I'll do is go through the hole, pull it tight. You're gonna get some that's gonna spool off kind of rough, but it is what it is. Keep pulling it, pulling it, pulling it until you get her down there, and then kind of close that back up. Grab it with your feet, and then I don't know if you can see the line, but you're going to go over. You're gonna go over the knot like that, almost like you're tying your shoe for the first time. I always leave a good loop in there. Go through the knot. So you have just one little twist in it like that. I'll pinch that right there and do the same thing back over your tag line that goes back down to your spool. Grab it right there where it twists. I don't know if you guys can see that little loop there between both of those deals. Go back through it. And then usually I'll hold the loop open like that. And then that you can put, God, I really wish I had my head mount. This is trash. I'm sorry folks. I'm trying to keep you guys in frame here. But you guys are gonna take that loop, see how it cinches down like that? You're gonna put it over your tip up. And you are gonna pull it tight. Get your finger in there. I don't know if you can see. You want to get that tight. I mean, your line will spin loose like that. That's normal until you get a couple good cranks on it. I'm gonna find my razor, and I am gonna cut that little tag end off. So you guys are gonna have a nice clean little knot there. Sorry for the lighting, but what I'll do is I'll take that, I'll spin it a couple times around with my hand just to get it started, then go through the loop and spin it on like this. You can just spin, you hold the line, hold the line right here. I want to allow that to spin that way, but put the line through there and just start spinning it. Hold the line in your hand and just keep on moving it. You want to move it back and forth as you reel it in though. And then when you get to how, you know, ever happy you are with it being full, I'll show you guys the rest. But I'm going to get this spooled on and then I'll catch you guys in a second. Alright folks, well, I kind of skipped a step a little bit for you. So these newer tip-ups, the newer Frables, the top end, that actually threads off. And if you want to increase the time it takes to spool on your line, I'm going to show you something. Doesn't have to be a Milwaukee, but bear with me. I'm going to tighten this on here real fast. Okay, so you guys see that? Now, that's the tip of the day. If you guys have a new tip up, you can thread off your top piece and get it onto a chuck of any drill you have, and then you can spool it just as fast as the drill will go. So, that's that. Remember to grab your line with your foot. Sometimes that gets a little wound up there. I'm gonna actually take it off of that guy there. Alright folks, well, not sure if you guys can see it, but we are all the way down to the end of that spool. Our drill here, all we gotta do is back the chuck off, take our little top piece to the Frable tip up. Some of the old ones they just pull right off, so it's not an issue, but if you see, it will just spin right back on. And I mean, it took 30 seconds, literally 30 seconds to fill this whole entire spool, and it's perfect. You guys just got to go back and forth with the line as you go, and it'll end up even, which means it'll spool out even. It won't come out all crazy, and just keep pressure on it with your finger as you go back and forth. But yeah, now onto the second part, tying a knot on this bad boy. I'm gonna grab our treble hook right here. This is what my pops called a Polymer Knot. I'm not sure what you fancy kids call it nowadays, but I'm gonna cut this little tag end off here. Don't need to, it's for pike, they'll damn near hit anything, but if they're finicky they might get weird with it. But you take your line and you fold it back over itself. I usually leave like a 6-inch little end, like your end there, put it through. I usually go right to about the middle of your tag that you left. You go around like that. You want to hold that tag end that's loose, if I could get it. You go back through. You go back through with this guy, and then once you're on this other side here, take this little tag end and you spread it open. You can pull it a little bit too. Put your hook back through it. Yep, there we go. Just cinch it tight. Take your pliers and just snip that little end off. Be careful that you don't cut the line that goes to your spool. I've done that a bunch of times and it's aggravating. So there we go. Got our end. Now all we got to do here is find our little sinker that fell on the ground there. I usually go about, I'd say like a foot up the spool from where the hook is. Bite that bad boy on there, so don't move. And then I usually pick a bobber of my choice, which for me is just a cheap little crap bobber. And then you take and you put your line through your loop. And I'll throw my bobber onto here. Like that. Oh, take the line back through there just for storage purposes until you get the bobber wound back up onto the spool there. Then you can go back through that loop and just spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it until your hook hits there. Now you can see the hook hit this little set up here, and now it's ready to get stored. Now you have a tip up with freshly spooled line. And forgive me for not having my head mount on. I gotta find that before I go tomorrow, but either way, that is the setup for that. You got a freshly spooled tip up spool ready to go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little video, but if not, I'm sorry. But there you go, man. Good luck, guys. Get out there and catch some fish, huh?